So I was in Walmart the other day, and why they have vinyl records makes me curious. Is that people preparing for the power to go out so they can still have music with wind-up spring-loaded record players? Who's buying these vinyl records? But that's a separate thing. What I noticed on this Brantley Gilbert is the SHH on the inside of his index finger. I know there's a couple other musicians that have the same tattoo. Like the shush sign, like when you put your finger up to your lips and say, shh, be quiet. So they don't even have to put their finger up to their lips to do the shush sign. It's just permanently there. And I know there's a couple other musicians. I think Rihanna might be one of them. I know you guys are familiar with the other couple female artists that have that same tattoo. I just thought I'd throw that in there. And I just had a realization this evening about how honesty without compassion is cruelty, and why the general public is allowed to continue believing things that are more comfortable for them, while the truth is put out there for others to pick up and hold on to and look at, because to force them to see the truth is like putting a square peg through a round hole. But I'll make a more elaborate video on that at another time. So to add to some previous videos I made, the one that says proof C19 was telegraphed years in advance, and it's got a few different Poppy videos showing that it was coming. Remember what rhymes with breath? Death. That's all I'm going to tell you for now. And the other Poppy music video, Flux, where it shows the sun puking rainbows on the earth, causing the genetic mutations. Links will be in the description to these videos, also by Poppy. One of them titled Scary Mask Warning by Poppy. The other one is Scary Mask, which is a full-length music video. The Scary Mask Warning is only 1 minute long. And those are about the mask that was coming. Two more that are correlated to the solar apocalypse. The solar micronova, whatever you might want to look at it as, the solar cataclysm, is Don't Go Outside by Poppy and Sick of the Sun by Poppy. Both of those have lyrics written out on the page so you can listen to them and read them simultaneously. And then there's also this one titled Icky Babies by Poppy. So you can see this one is titled The Scary Mask Warning, and it was made 5 years ago, and it's 1 minute long. And she refers to these icky babies. She says the icky babies warned about the power of the scary mask. They told me that once I put the mask on, I'll never be the same Poppy again. For weeks I studied the mask and wondered what kind of power it would bring me, but if I didn't put it on, I understood the warning of the icky babies. With great power comes even greater responsibility. I don't know when, but the scary mask is coming. The icky babies told me so, and it must be. This one's titled The Icky Babies, and she starts out by saying, "Hi, I'm Poppy. I would like to introduce you to the Icky Babies. They told me it was time to transition into a new era, where light becomes dark and all becomes balanced. These talented babies have been sent to me on a mission. And together we will bring you spiritual change. The icky babies are Poppy's destiny." Maybe these icky babies are like alien greys. That might be an appropriate descriptor. Like these two that were presented to the Mexican Congress a while back. ET bodies revealed at congressional hearing is what I titled it. It says 12th of September 2023. And they look exactly like what Steven Spielberg showed us was ET. Like exactly. So Maybe these icky babies that she refers to, that might be how someone would refer to these. You can see how small they are by comparison to the people in the building, ergo babies. And because they look so different from us, Icky. I'm looking for the part where he pulls the lid off so you can see how big these tiny coffins are. There you go. They're tiny compared to us. They're like 3 foot tall. And just a quick addendum to the last video that I produced with Chris Bledsoe and the orbs and the correlation between the glowing plasma orbs and plasma fire. In Christianity, we have the seraphim, translated as burning ones. Those are God's angels. In Islam, we have jinn. That's where we get the word genie. And they are said to be made of smokeless fire. Those plasma orbs, those fit the description of smokeless fire. And from Hinduism, we have a type of fire called Samvartika fire, a fire that destroys all which displeases Indra, apparently one of the main gods or the main god of Hinduism. And so all three of these major religions have something that might fit the description of these plasma orbs as it relates to plasma fire, because Samvartika fire indicates that there is a sentient, a consciousness, an awareness to be able to destroy all that displeases Indra, and by implication that means not destroy things that don't displease Indra, and somehow it differentiates between the two. That indicates either the fire itself has a consciousness, or there is something on the other side controlling it remotely that has a consciousness. The burning ones, the seraphim, angels of God, if those little plasma orbs do actually start fires, they match that description, and likewise with the jinn, which are made of smokeless fire. And the jinn are something like angels, just like the seraphim. And so back to the solar cataclysm that's being depicted in 3 music videos by Poppy, Don't Go Outside, Sick of the Sun, and Flux. Here I was watching some good old solar doom porn the other day, and this guy slips in some pro-Hermy propaganda, and I was like, that doesn't belong over here. That belongs back over in James's pile with all his pro-Hermy propaganda. So I think there's something to a lot of the stuff James says, but you gotta sift and decipher through all the bullshit. But I thought I'd throw this in here since it's kinda sorta fits, and this is just a hodgepodge anyway.
Okay, so this is, how did the government react to what you just saw? The event that set it all off. Small. So we're dealing with something that's really produces our heat, our light, and is dangerous. Okay, so this is, how did the government react to what you just saw? The event that set it all off. International Geophysical Year. It started in June or July of 1957 and went to December 31st, 1958. This stamp was issued May 31st, 1958. Now remember what happened February 11th and 10th of 58. These are I have this postage stamp. These are engraved stamps, and it takes like 2 to 3 weeks to make the engraving and put the plates. It must have taken about 2 or 3 weeks to come up with the design, get it approved. Then they had to print it and distribute it to all the post offices. So they must have had this thing in the works since February of 58 and delivered it and released it by May 31st. So what's funny about this, 3 things. 1, International Geophysical Year. Geophysical means the study of the Earth. Then why do they have a semicircle of the sun erupting? Maybe they're trying to tell you something. But what they're really trying to tell you is Gee, something of a geophysical year, and why do we have two hands up here? I wonder where they got those two hands. Oh yeah, Michelangelo, the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel. This is supposedly God, and this is dear sweet Adam minus some clothing. And perhaps what they're basically saying with the postage stamp is that, please God, help us figure out what's about to happen to us, and hopefully we're not going to be all killed from it. Now, if you read my video series 1, my explanation of how the universe really works, I've just shown you we're in a synchronous system. Well, all synchronous systems have an operating system. All computers have an operating system. Now you know who God is. The God of this dihold, which is what I call the synchronous system. The dihold has an operating system. That's it. So that's my definition of God, is the one who's the operating system who runs this dihold, and the one that creates our reality, whole universe. That's explained not only in video series 1, but also video series, I think it's 2 on the Hebrew alphabet. The last of that series explains the whole thing, basically the secret of the universe. I want to make another comment too. We always show that Adam is a man. Well, like I said, the operating system is not male or female. It's both. It has the information for both. So in the beginning of Genesis, it winds up saying that God created man in his image. So he's not male or female. He has information of both. What he created was a hermaphrodite. To prove the point, a few verses later, it says, oh, Adam's going to be so lonesome, and we got to make a mate for him, because all the animals have mates. So he goes into a deep sleep, pulls something out of what he labels as Adam, this hermaphrodite, and creates something else. What I think he really created was Adam. If my knowledge of anatomy is correct, the female anatomy is much more complicated than the male one. So chances are he pulled a male out of the female, and he had a male and female. So that's just an aside. I wanted to add it because I didn't know where to put it in, but it's a good point. Here's the other way, the way they responded to what was going to happen. This is the date that they created NASA. And it was passed.
So since he just decided to squeeze that in randomly to a video that was about solar cataclysm, and he squeezes in that God created a hermaphrodite, I thought I'd squeeze it in there randomly too. And this is kind of like James is tipping on this from a lot of different angles. That Noah was a hermaphrodite, that there is a lineage of hermaphrodites. It's not just a genetic mutation, but there is a lineage of hermaphrodites. And James implies and indicates that the royal family lineages just may be those bloodlines. And as you can see here, he said that's an image of the sun with fire coming up off of it. Maybe not. Maybe that's the earth. So don't delay, act now. Supplies are running out. Allow if you're still alive 6 to 8 years to arrive. And if you follow, there may be a tomorrow. But if the offer's shunned, you might as well be walking on the sun.